campaign playthrough on Railway Empire. In the previous one we started out in the tutorial, chapter 1, achieved a president rating in that, which is, well, I think it's harder not to do that than it is, so there we go. Now we're going to turn our attention to chapter 2, as you can see, previously played through on a president rating, so hopefully we can repeat that success here today. So let's go ahead and jump in. If you want to pause the video at this point and read this, you're more than welcome to, but I'm going to be jumping straight in. In terms of pause mode, I'm going to keep it on normal. You can get an extra bonus via Trainiac, however, I do find it's possible, and in fact quite straightforward, to get the president rating without that additional score bonus by having it on normal. Rail network will be kept at realistic, obviously nothing else we can change here. We do have two competitors, I believe that is Don Lorenzo and the southern lady, Beatrix von Pomp, I believe her name is. Anyway, let's jump straight into this one today. We are the industrialist, again we cannot change that. My name is still Andrew, that is unlikely to change at any point, and the name of the company is Baltimore and Ohio. So again, just going to skip through the cutscene here and just jump straight into the episode. So here is Philip Evan Thomas. I guess he's the president of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad. I'm not sure. I'm sure he's a historical character. I don't know. I could Google it, but I'm not going to. Right, so let's get started. First of all, we need to connect Baltimore to Washington and then connect 3 rural businesses to our network. Well, Baltimore and Washington, that is going to be nice and straightforward. And I think we will go for, can we get a large train station, do we think, with the signalling control? In fact, we don't need that for this. We can just go with just a bog standard small train station. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll pop him just there. Can we demolish that? Yes, we can, because I do want to change this for a station that does have signalling control. So we'll use a large station with the signalling control, and if we can get that just there, perfect. This way we don't have to mess about with platform assignments here. Let's try and get rid of that. Yes, it's going to slow our trains down on this gradient, as we can see a 15% gradient there or thereabouts, but it's cheaper than having a bridge. So let's pay and build that. We will double track this because we'll want to have a couple of trains running on this little route here. It's not the longest route in the world, as we can see, but we at least want 2 trains, so one starting in Baltimore and the other starting in Washington. So there we go, save and exit, add the loco. Early game this time, so we've only got the Grasshopper, which is pretty rubbish to be honest, but it's early doors, so there we go. And there we go, that's up into Baltimore and Washington. That's the first thing taken care of. Now I know upcoming we have to connect into Pittsburgh over here from Baltimore, so that's what we're going to look to do next. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that track there, and if you can see, the terrain around here is pretty damn awful, so you have to be careful when you're running this line because you want to avoid excessive cuttings and earthworks. At the same time, however, you want to make sure you're not paying for tunnels and bridges. So just follow the contour lines as best you can here to get a nice, relatively straight, as much as possible anyway, train line in here. And once again, let's go big. That's a terminal, we don't want that one. We'll go for a nice big station with the signalling control. Again, that just saves us faffing about with the platform assignments. They will automatically swap over to empty ones where possible. So let's double track this all the way up, and we'll go in as far as, can we get that in there? I bet we can if we do something like that. There we go. So signals all the way through, lovely stuff. Supply tower, we'll go for 1 and we'll have it in this cutting just there. So let's get another rail line between these two. Yep, perfect. And we'll have 2 of those, and then we'll have 2 coming the opposite way, and copy of that. Wonderful. Right, so Baltimore. We want to get some stuff into Baltimore, of course. So what do we need? We need wheat or grain. We need cattle, corn. We need wood. Beef we will produce ourselves. Beer we'll have to import it from somewhere. We need cloth, which we can get from Pittsburgh. Milk and sugarcane, probably a few of us, yes. Fruit and veg, and clothing, which we produce ourselves as well. So the first station we're going to aim for then is this one just here. And we're going to get some wood shipped in to Baltimore. Wood is one of the commodities that is required by Baltimore, of course. So let's get this brought in. Maybe not like that. Something like this. 8%. Yeah, we'll go for 8%. So we'll pay for that. And we want to double track this, of course. So we can do that right now. This way, again, have multiple trains running down here. The more trains we can have, the better, but obviously we don't want to overload it with trains. That would be silly. So supply tower there, yep, supply tower there, and we have one on this one, so all the trains have access to a supply tower. Let's go ahead and set this up, and we want them to come with a full load. And I say we'll go for 2 to begin with. Now Baltimore is our central hub, so to speak, so we'll stick a maintenance building down there. Every train we have on our network will at some point come into Baltimore as it stands right now, so we'll take care of that. We have sugar right here, so I think we'll take care of this demand and bring some sugar in. And this again should be relatively straightforward. If we just try and stay in this contour band in here, at least until we cross over the river. And can we come in before the... Yes, we can come in before the sanding tower, hopefully. Yes, we can. That way we don't have to pay for another sanding tower. Can we get that in there? Yep, perfect. And then we'll bring the duplicate line out. Okay, it's gonna be awkward, is it? Let's just restart all of that. Come on. Okay, so you're gonna do it. You're gonna make me do it like this, are you? Okay, that's... I mean, I could just reposition the initial track, but what the heck. So we will have to put another sanding tower on this one, because the return out to the sugarcane farm doesn't have access to the sanding tower. As we saw, it didn't snap parallel with it, so make sure we sort that out. Okay, so we'll put one just there. And then let's set this up, Smith Farm into Baltimore. Let's get that cranked up. And again, we'll start with just 2 locomotives running on this. Now the third industry, I think we're going to go for cotton. We have cotton just to the south of Pittsburgh. Cotton is needed for the textiles, and the textiles are needed for the clothing. So that all marries up nicely. So let's start shipping in some of this cotton here from Wilson Farm. And we'll bring it into Pittsburgh, nice and straightforward, nothing too challenging there. And there we go, that's now 3 of the rural businesses connected to our network, so that's that task ticked off nicely. And we should have gold ticks across the board so far, but we'll check that. So let's do that. We want 8. And again, I think we'll go for 2 of these. And we're also going to put a maintenance shed over here in Pittsburgh as well. So let's have a look. Yep, 2 gold ticks. Wonderful. So we will have to select Baltimore to see what it needs just to unlock the next couple of tasks. So we'll wait for him to catch up. I'm pretty sure the next task is to connect to Pittsburgh, which we have already done. And then it's to deliver the cotton into Pittsburgh. And I think we then have to deliver clothing into New York, if I remember correctly. So the next thing we're going to want to set up is a station in New York. Now we can't afford a large station, but if we accelerate the game time, we will be able to. I say large station, I do of course mean a regular station. This also does mean we have no way to pay for our rails, so we are going to issue a couple of bonds here at this point, just so we can get these rails laid in, and this all connected into Baltimore. And again, the terrain along here is nothing short of rubbish, so just do what you can here to avoid any ridiculous inclines, while also trying to avoid any of the bridges and the tunnels. Like we have a bridge there, So we can just get rid of that by putting another track marker in the middle. And we'll bring this all the way across. There's another bridge, so I'd rather have steep terrain rather than a bridge, if I'm honest. And we can't avoid having a bridge there, of course, so that is what it is. And then I think what we will do, because otherwise our trains are going to be waiting all the way back here, we're actually going to join up with the second track leaving the station. And we're not going to do that. And we're just going to run it all the way into New York. Okay, it's on the wrong side, but that's fine. We can just do it something like that. It's going to work. We want a sanding tower somewhere along here. And I'm going to put it over nearer to Baltimore. And you'll see why a little bit later on. Okay, so now let's do that. And that. And that. And let's set up 2 coming in the opposite direction, like so. Wonderful. So they're all about to be loaded up. Let's just check our tasks. Yep. 10 cotton into Pittsburgh, 20 clothing into New York. So these should start bringing in the cotton pretty soon. Are you just being loaded up there? Yes, you are. Wonderful. How much would it cost to buy that? 400,000. Too much. Right, now it is anyway. So how is Baltimore performing? We're not growing. Oh no, we are now starting to grow. Let's see if we can help Baltimore along. Let's bring in some milk and some cattle, shall we? Both of which we have here. In fact, we could also bring in this vegetable farm. There is a chance, yes, a large train station will cover both of those. Now, it is going to eat up 200,000 of our available funds, of course, but that's fine. And we're just going to bring these straight into the existing tracks. Like so. And we will put a diamond in here as well, like so. Get some signals down there. Now, what we don't want is that signal just there, that one. Because we don't want our trains to overhang this junction. So we'll move that signal and put it just prior to the junction like that. There we go. So, new train line, Thomas Breeding into Baltimore. We want these to be fully loaded. Prioritize the cattle, but you can bring the vegetables as well. It's fine.
If you transport the clothing,
and we'll say have three. Well, we can only afford 3 at the moment. How are we doing? 8 out of 10, 7 out of 20. We've got until 1834. We want to aim for about 1832, though, just to avoid, or just to ensure we get the gold tick, which I don't think is going to be a problem. Now, the other industries we want to connect in are these 2 just here. What's happened here? What are all these waiting for? It's just this gradient here that they're struggling to get up, which is fine. Well, it's not fine, but there's not much we can do about it right now. Would a large station catch both? Yes, it would. So as soon as we can afford a large station, we're going to do that. I'm not going to bother with the tech auctions, to be honest. I don't want to bother with train personnel, even though he's asking me to. New industry bonus of 99,000. That's not worth it. I'm not going to bother with that. Right, let's see what else we have around here. Now, I do believe one task is to connect to Toledo as well. So, if I can do that on the cheap already and get it done, then I'm going to do that. And I'm not necessarily going to have any active lines down here at this point, but if we can get it in there and it does become a task, then it's one more thing we've already ticked off without really having to think about it. And we can't afford that, 220,000, but that's fine. Right, we need to unlock another 2 techs before we can get the next loco, or 200 points for the John Hancock. So let's just keep unlocking some techs there. Open the train details of your most important train, and I don't want to do that, but if it's going to make him go away, then I will do it. Manage the train. Right, I don't know, you can have you. So I've just been able to pay for this train line here. Again, we're not actually going to run anything down it at this point, but we will do later, I think. Almost done this objective, 17 out of 20 items of clothing delivered into here. We also want to get these two industries connected into Baltimore to help it grow. The other thing we can do, when we can afford it, is put down a museum in Baltimore, because a museum, it reduces the demand threshold, or the satisfaction threshold for growth in terms of the goods that they require, so you don't have to supply quite as many as you normally would. I think it reduces it by about 20%. I'm not sure. It did say somewhere. Is there not a tooltip for that? No, maybe not. But anyway, we are going to get one as soon as we can afford to, and we need another 50,000 or so to be able to afford that, which shouldn't take too long. We have another bonus for new industry down here. Is that in? No, that's not in Washington. Where is that? Oh, it's far too far away from me to be concerned with, so I'm just going to ignore that. There we go. There's our museum, and hopefully now we can find out exactly what it does. Fulfillment demand is plus 10%, so there we go. So that'll help Baltimore grow that little bit faster. Still want to get this station up here as and when we can. The clothing has been delivered. Lovely, lovely. And it's also asking us to look at buying stocks in one of our competitors. So let's just go ahead and just buy, I don't know, can we buy, we'll wait till we can afford 10, and then we shall buy 10% of Don Lorenzo's company. What do we want to unlock next? Let's have a look over here. Yeah, let's get railroad enthusiasts. Still hasn't unlocked the next set of tasks that we need to complete yet, but I'm sure they will be with us momentarily. So still waiting to tick up to the magic 200,000 just so I can get the big station here to encompass both of these industries at once, and there we go. Large station, and we'll have it there. And what we're going to do is, like we did with the one just on the other side of these tracks here, we're going to have a diamond there, and we're going to connect both of the first two platforms, get your words out, into here with a diamond, and then we'll have the trains running down into Baltimore, keeping Baltimore supplied with as much milk and wheat as they could ever want. Right, so let's get that diamond. There we go. A couple of signals up here wouldn't go amiss, and we can have a couple like that just to put our trains off of the main track, because when they come down here they don't have any carriages on them, they are just the locomotive units, so we can stable up quite a few down here, and this keeps this little bit free and open for all the other traffic. Right, let's see that in action, hopefully. Get Collins Estate to Baltimore. We want you to do something like that. And, yep, save and exit. 1, 2, and 3. Let's have a look at our tasks here. So, yeah, it was to connect to Toledo, so that's already taken care of. Reach a population of 100,000 in Baltimore. We'll have supplied Baltimore with a lot of its goods, so that's almost done. Go away. We need to get 20% of shares in Don Lorenzo or any competitor, so we're halfway to that, and achieve a company value of 20 million. We also have optional tasks of connecting 10 rural businesses to network. We've got 7, and buying one of our competitors. Now, we've made a start with Don Lorenzo, so it makes sense to focus on purchasing and buying him out entirely. So let's see, how much could we purchase right now if we wanted to? Could we get the 10% that we need? Yes, we can. That's that task ticked off. Baltimore still continues to grow. This company value is obviously something that grows organically over time, providing you keep connecting the businesses that you need and whatnot. What we could do is look at what else we can get into Pittsburgh. For example, some grain, some corn, or some wood wouldn't go amiss. We have both wood and grain up here, which is very, very handy indeed. Will a large station get both? No, it won't. So we're going to have to do them one at a time, which is fine. So we may as well start with Robinson Clearing. That's the nearest one. And let's get this connected into our rail line like so. Let's unpause it while it's accumulating a bit of money for us in the background. There we go, and again, a couple of extra signals in here just to stable our trains as they're waiting to load up over there. And we don't want that signal there. And again, just like before, we don't want the back end of the train to block the junction for anything else that might be trying to come on through. We also want a sanding tower down here because we don't have one on this little run. And obviously that'll also service the trains that are running from this grain farm as well. So we'll put that just there. Go away. So new line into Pittsburgh, ferrying the wood. And we'll have, well, we can only afford one for now. We can now unlock the John Bull, which is going to help with the tractive power. So on this little stretch here, our train should be able to handle this a little bit more successfully, shall we say. We're now going to clone that grasshopper we just made up here. So that's now doing that. That should be 8 industries now connected in total. Yeah, 8. Perfect. So number 9 is going to be this grain farm just here. So let's bring this in. Like so. And again, double track up to the station. Here we are. Whacking our signals. Just chuck a couple of extras for stabling purposes. And we can then set up the line. So from there to there with a full load, and we want at least 2. So we'll go for the Grasshopper because it is the cheapest. We can upgrade our trains in bulk a little bit later via the engine shed. See, it's going to cost us 800,000 if we want to upgrade them all right now. Obviously we cannot afford to do that. Okay, so we need to get 20 million, connect one more rural industry, and buy out Don Lorenzo. I mean, we could buy out Beatrix von Pomp. However, we've made a start on Don Lorenzo, so we may as well finish off with him. And just to tick off the last one, there we go.
You're doing some excellent.
We're not going to use that one, of course, but it's done, it's ticked it off. So we need to buy out Don Lorenzo before we get to 20 million, because I do believe that is the final task. I don't think any more unlock. So if we achieve this before we've achieved this, then it's going to end the game and we might lose bonus points that we could otherwise get. So we need to be careful with that one. Let's get that for increased reliability. Was that a bonus in Charleston? I don't know. Oh, you've chucked down something in Baltimore, have you? Well, that's lovely. Aren't you a good lad? Right, what do we want to have? We could put down another industry here in Baltimore. Now I'm thinking we might go for a sawmill. The reason being is I do believe, yeah, you make furniture. Now you also make your own wood, but you're not being supplied with any wood. Don Lorenzo hasn't done that. So let's get us a sawmill in here. We do bring wood into this city, I believe, from down here. So we're already supplying the raw materials that they need, and it gives an extra commodity for our trains to New York to carry with them to make us a little bit more money. So that's good. So again, got a little bit of slowdown here on this incline. Can you get down? I've not really experimented with the camera much in this. Yeah, that is quite a climb. I don't know if there's a hotkey here to reset the camera, but I think that's pretty much reset okay. Right, how are we doing? Can we do much at the moment? What we want to do is recycle our bonds. And what I mean by that is pay them off and then take out new bonds. Pittsburgh has grown. Now that is an ideal opportunity for us. I think we shall get a brewery. I struggle with that word. Too many W's and R's in there. Yes, a beer manufacturer, shall we say. Because we already supply the grain, and then we can bring the beer into Baltimore, and Baltimore can in return send them some lovely meat. and everybody will be happy with that. Can we buy that? No, we can't, but it would start an auction anyway, and those cheeky pesky AI would likely drive up the price artificially. What we can do, however, is chuck another 2 trains on there, because we want to get as much grain in here as possible, because we'll make money off of this. Speaking of, we can see how our sawmill is doing, so it's fluctuating in terms of its utilization. I think that's going to be because of the availability of the wood. So again, what we can do to remedy that is get rid of that, go to the train list and chuck in 1 more. Okay, I think now we should be able to recycle our bonds. So if we pay off the cheapest one, see, we can double our bonds here. So we've basically printed some free money in effect. We have to pay it back, but you know, there we go, now over 1 million. Now, what do we want to do here? Do we want to buy more of Don Lorenzo's company, or do we want to change out all our locos? Well, how much could we buy? We could buy quite a lot, actually.
His accounts of how the railroad is used in mining there fascinating.
So that takes us up to 50, which is nice. And we've got 300,000 left, and what would it cost to replace all? 900,000, okay. Well, in that case, since we're so far off, no, I'm not got any interests in Montgomery, so I'm not going to buy that. Shall we just go ahead and buy another 13%? Just keep pushing that up over time. Let's get that for the increased cost that we receive, the increased payment for the freight that we deliver. How are you doing? Yeah, you see, it's making us 4,000 a week, and total profits made us since we purchased it is 58,000. To expand that, it would cost 400,000. Obviously we don't have that, so yep, not much we can do there. How about this lovely chap? 63,000 that one's made us, which is lovely. Obviously there's this is generating more, I believe, because there's more demand for beer, because Pittsburgh itself actually does have a demand for the beer that it's producing itself, if you follow me. This one, it's relying on New York using the planks to create the furniture. Now, New York will have some income or some trickle logs. What's this? No. From here over land. So, yeah, they will be getting a small supply of logs. Right, that hill there is it worthwhile, do we think, actually redoing that stretch of track? So if I put a demolition marker there and there, what are you going to do? And then do that and say that, and now go in like this. There we go, and chuck some signals in there, because there might have been some in there, I'm not sure if there were or not. And let's see, they should flow through a little bit faster now. That's too far away for it to be a viable investment. What has happened there? I don't know, but it's done something a bit weird, but it's fine. They're still running, aren't they? And what are they like coming back? Well, they're coming this way. Yeah, they're looking... Yeah, that's looking better, actually. That should keep things flowing a little more freely along here. Let's have a look. That's what I wanted. How much more can we get right now? Go away. Another 15%, that's lovely. That takes us to 78. And our company value is only 6 million, so we're still some way off this one. So we are going to be able to purchase Don Lorenzo's company outright before the end, so that's all good. When do we have to get this by? 1845. So yeah, plenty of time to sort that out. Right, let's have a look. What do we want to aim for next? Perhaps the Dunham. So for that we need another 2 tech unlocks. So let's get the train whistle, and the next one we'll have to save up to 200. So we'll have to do that. So we'll have to wait. Let's jump back in again and get some more of Don Lorenzo's company. Just keep chipping away. 86%, so another 14 to go, and we are there. How much would it cost if we wanted to do a merger outright at this point? Well, let's go onto the right menu. 500,000. Okay, not too bad at all. I think we could accumulate that pretty quickly. How's our industry doing here? That's doing well. We could get a museum in Pittsburgh if we wanted to help with the growth, but it's not a necessity at this point, and I'd rather spend the 200,000 buying out Don Lorenzo. So the trains do still slow down a little on this bit, as we can see, mainly along here. So I think we are going to want to invest in better locomotives sooner rather than later. However, I'm also conscious of accidentally finishing the game prior to purchasing Don Lorenzo, so I'm going to focus on that. It's just another 6%, that's not too bad. I'm not going to spend these yet. I need another 100 tech points, so let's just leave that as it is. Bit of hold up there. I think that's just because of how busy it is in and out of the station, so that's fine. They'll sort themselves out over time. Very slow on this bit here, but that is what it is. Right, I think we might be able to buy him out outright. There we go. So we've now got 100% of shares, so we can just leave it as it is, and we'll get some trickle income from Don Lorenzo. And I believe we've also taken any tech that he had unlocked, although it doesn't look like it. There's nothing new there. Or what we could do is merge our companies and liquidate all of his assets for a huge cash boost. So what's our company value? So that's 8 million. I think we're just going to liquidate him and get him out of our way. So if we wanted to merge, yes, liquidate everything, that's going to give us 1.8 million. There we go. So we can repay those just to get them out of the way. We're still left with 2.2 million, and all of Don Lorenzo's stuff has now been removed from the map. So all we need to do now is just get this company value up to 20 million. Now we can do that by just expanding our company. So what we're going to do is, or what we could do is, could we purchase this? Yes. Now it's going to start an auction, which Beatrix von Pomp may come in and piss us about by putting in a bid to drive up the price, but it doesn't look like it. No. So we now own that. So what I'm also going to do at this point is set up more rail lines between Baltimore and New York, and I want these to prioritize taking the planks. So now we've got all the trains that Don Lorenzo had access to, as we can see. So let's go for the Jervis, and we'll have another 2 of those. How much would it cost us to actually replace all of our trains with those? 2.5 million. Well, I think we'll sit on the money for a little bit, get to 2.5 mil, and we'll go ahead and upgrade all of our trains. Now, what do we have here? What's useful? Increased power would be nice, so let's go for that. What I'm also going to do, if I can, is buy that industry. I know that means we're no longer building up for the train swap over, but I'd like for our sawmill in Baltimore to be the one that is supplying this. So let's demolish that and put down a different industry. Now, what do we have nearby? What would make sense? Maybe another brewer. We have grain here, and we can get a line coming out like this into New York. So what the heck, let's do that. So let's see here. So we want a line that comes off pretty much straight away. Go away, you. Into there. Yep, that's fine. And then into there. Perfect. A couple of signals on there just so they're out of the way. And let's again put some marshalling points along here so the trains get out of the way of the main line like that. And then set up a new rail line from here to here. We want you to focus on the grain. Minimum of 8, so you're always going to be fully loaded. And we'll have 2 running into there. Right, what I'm also going to do at this point is... No, I'm not, because we haven't got 2 million. Never mind. Oh, we have a connection bonus. Well, we're going to go for this. It's nice and cheap. It's nice and local. Boom. There we go. And then we're just going to demolish that straight off the bat for the refund. There we go. So easy money right there. So you have to keep an eye out for those, because you can get some very, very easy ones like we just got right there. How's Wilson Farm doing? Could we buy that? Not really. What about you? Now, I hope she doesn't drive the price up on this, because it's already an expensive auction. But I want this because it's, then it's feeding our own industry, which is good. There we go.
Just this once,
oh, we went broke. Well, that's no good. And let's boost up that as well. Research, what do you want next? Faster train maintenance is always nice, so we'll go for that. And now we are really going to wait and get the... What do you do, actually? Oh, reduces locomotive prices. Well, that's nice. So we will get her. I do go for the office personnel. These right here. And the freelancers where they're useful. The train personnel, I really just do not bother with them. I mean, you can do it, but it's a lot of micromanaging and faff, and I'm not sure if the benefit is really there. I suppose when they get high level, you could start seeing the benefits, but that's fine. That's straight through his warehouse, but okay, he's happy with that. Let's just move on. Right, so how much would it cost us now to do the engine shed swap out? 2.1 million, so there we go. Using that office staff, it's dropped about 400,000 off the price of swapping out all our locos, which would be handy for some of these inclines over here. So we will be looking at doing that pretty sharpish as soon as we're able to. How are we doing in terms of the task? Okay, we are over halfway there, so it shouldn't take us much longer. And obviously picking up all these various industries around the place is going to help. Right, let's get these locos swapped out. 2.1 million. We can keep the game running in the background, as we can see, so as soon as we're able to, we're gonna click this little tick and get our locomotives replaced. There we go. That's all the grasshoppers now gone, so our trains are going to run a lot faster, have a lot more power, so tackling all these gradients should be a lot easier. I mean, we saw him struggle on this one. I mean, he did still slow down, of course, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it was previously, so everybody is happy there. 125,000 in Baltimore, very nice. How are you doing? Yep, you're doing pretty well. How much does it cost to expand you? 400, so we'll wait for the money, then we'll do that. That's going to boost the profits. We do have plenty of raw materials in supply, so why wouldn't we? What about you? Okay, you're still waiting. It's just the wood there. Can we upgrade you? Yes, we can. So that's now level 2. So they should load up a lot quicker, as we can see. In fact, we have plenty waiting in the depot anyway. I guess it's just the traffic build-up in and out of Baltimore that's causing the slowdown on the supply here, but that's okay. Is it worth upgrading you? Well, I think we will. We may as well. We don't need the money for anything else at this point, so we'll upgrade you as well. Research. Ooh, and even faster train maintenance is quite nice. Or more power. Let's go for the power. Okay, so what I've done here is I've replaced our initial station with in New York with one with signaling control, and this should speed up the flow of the goods from both here and Baltimore into New York quite nicely. So let's keep an eye on that over the coming couple of minutes, and we'll see how it does for us. Things are quite slow on this side coming into Baltimore, as we can see. And it is just the amount of traffic that we have coming in and out, unfortunately. 15 million, so 75% of the way towards our final goal. We've still got until 1845, so we don't need to worry about that. You're slow due to missing supplies. That means you need, my friend, a sanding tower. And there you go, have one of those. Right, what could we do here to get some of these flowing into Baltimore a little bit faster? Well, we could put down another train station, of course. Could we fit one in anywhere? Not really. How about that one? Could that squeeze in there? Maybe this way around? Again, not really, because of where we put our industry, so that's annoying. Okay, I believe what the problem was is we had a couple of trains that when we changed the station over in New York, it didn't update the train, so I just had to manually update a couple of them, and they've now been able to leave the platform. So we've got another one here, look. Invalid rail line, so let's just do that. So yeah, a little bit of micromanagement there because we had to change, because I opted to change the train station, but that's fine. We've got it, looks like we've got it all taken care of in the end. Anything else we want to unlock? Nothing's really jumping out at me at this point, so I'm not going to bother. I think it is just a case now of waiting for this to hit 20 million. How much would it cost to buy her out? 10 million. We could do that. We could see which comes first. The ability to buy out Beatrix von Pomp or the end of the game. So, yes. If I get the chance, I do believe I'll do it. Right, now that we got 200, what can we get? Retroactively lowers the cost of successful auctions by 10%. That's quite nice. Accelerated maintenance. That is also quite nice. Or we could wait and get the Dunham, which is actually inferior to the Jarvis, so I don't think we'll bother with that. Let's get the accelerated maintenance, and our trains are leaving the stations a little bit faster. How are you doing? You seem to be doing a bit better now that the traffic backlog is cleared up outside of Baltimore. How are you doing? Yeah, you're getting your supply now only from ourselves, not from the other industry that was in here. You're doing pretty well, actually. Can we upgrade you? That's going to boost our company value ever so slightly. Oh, there, it's gone up quite a lot, actually. 18 million. If we could buy that, that would be fantastic. Let's see how this goes. Oh, we can also chuck down another industry over here, although we are about to pay for an expensive auction. And it sent us into negative once again, but that's fine because that will soon go away thanks to all of this income we have coming in. Company value, how are we doing? Oh, almost there. Almost there. Need another 100,000 or so and then we are there. And in fact, buying this should be enough. Although I can't put it down anywhere, so that's annoying. That's strange. Never mind, never mind. Can we expand any of our businesses just for a bit of boost? Not really. They're quite a lot of money. What about you? Well, you got 0 workload, but we'll expand you anyway. Ah, it's dropped. It's dropped. It's dropping. Come on, trains, make us that money. You're nearly there. Yes, it really is just... There we go. We got it. We got it. I was about to say it's just a case of waiting until it ticks over that magic 20 million, which it has now done. And let's see how we did. Let's again just skip the outro. Fantastic. Another president rating. 11 out of 11 tasks. 20 out of 20. And over here, 3 years and 8 months. Company value of just over 20 million. 33 rail lines. 13 stations. 2,373.4 miles of track. And 170 wagons on duty. And look at that. Our company value was only ever going one way, which is nice. Okay, so there we go. That's chapter 2 taken care of with another perfect score of president. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, then do consider hitting that thumbs up button down below. That would be absolutely fantastic. And if you're new to the channel and would like to see more episodes of Railway Empire, or indeed some Transport Fever 2 and various other games down the line, then go ahead and consider subscribing. It really does help out and it would be absolutely magnificent. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, all that remains for me to say is, as always, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.